Happy freaking Halloween to all you guys out there. Hope you guys are being safe in all that you do. I know there's going to be a few idiots out there going into stores, doing stupid shit just to make viral videos or with even worse intentions, but for the most part, actually, I hope wholeheartedly that everybody who happens to run across this video on this day of recording and afterwards are all safe, sound, getting a chance to relax, watch this video. Hopefully you had a wonderful day at work today or in whatever you did. So this one really pissed me off, and it's scary, and that's why I picked it for Halloween. I've always had the questions that this guy answers. I don't know. I know about as much as somebody a little bit above average knows about YouTube's algorithm. We all know our search history is going to pull videos similar to that. That's no secret. So when I'm showing like Sheriff Judd Grady from Polk County, Florida, their child protector operations, there's going to be videos of other people like Mama Max when I was showing that chapter's April Fool's joke and how that lady, because Chris Hansen was a part of that joke, messing with Mike O, the way the rest of the content creators were, how she fucking took it in her sick head. And I don't give a shit if she came after me, because you know what? I have a 1-year-old beautiful, or 1-year-old, what the hell am I saying? I always think 1-year-old because of my tattoo. She was 2 months old at that time. But she's 7 years old now. She'll be 8 coming up soon. And she's my little angel. She'll always be my little baby, no matter how old she gets. And to think that there's sick fucks out there, and excuse my language, that could, yeah. I don't even want to like think about it, but the questions I always had were, do what these vigilantes do actually do more harm than good? And I always wanted to get those answers. I just didn't know how to go about searching for the right answers. And right off the bat, when I clicked on this video, I'm listening to it, and I got halfway through the video, and I'm like, you know what, this is something that I need to react to, you know, after the fact. I've already, listened to half of this. Let me hear what else happens. And yeah, answered my questions. So without further ado, guys, I don't know the creator's name. You obviously will see it when it pops up, but stick with this one through, because it's an eye-opener that there are a lot of people who could get away because of these vigilante groups. And does it mean that what they do is wrong? Absolutely fucking not. If there were more nonprofit organizations like this guy claims that he's running, I would totally be in support and donation to help him capture more of these monsters. But does it put it, like he says, and you'll see, I don't want to give too much away, but I'll say this: can it put things in jeopardy? And you'll see his answer. Here we go. So he's no small YouTuber. His name is Mike Fox. He has about 1.43 million, I believe I thought I seen. And from what I gather, this is the type of content that he normally puts up. This is exactly everything I've always wanted to find out about these types of operations. I've watched a couple of these where I think to myself, like, okay, they're calling these people out in public and I'm saying they are 100% sure this is them. I have no reason to question that it isn't them, but at the same token, the law is a law, and they could claim so many things. I mean, why do you think, people like Jeffrey Dahmer, Gacy, and the rest of those sick fucks, they are provided attorneys by the Constitution. And, someone who's these sick fucking monsters can say, oh, they scared me, I was under duress, and boom, there could go a case. So that's why I was asking. I wonder if this does more harm than good. So let's go on and give this a watch.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. After hearing comments about my beard for the last few videos, I've decided to have a shave. I'm not sure if it looks any better. No. I received confirmation from my lawyer that I'm allowed to upload a video that I made myself recently. It's gone through the full police proceedings. The guy has been arrested now and is awaiting trial, so I'm officially allowed to upload that as soon as possible. I just need to figure out all the weird little legal bits. In the meantime, I've been recommended this video multiple times from people that I actually know. It was only uploaded a couple of days ago, and it's already kicking up a bit of a fuss in my community on YouTube. People have been telling me about this and how bad it was. I haven't seen any of the video yet, so as always, I'm going to go through this with you. Anything that I see that I think is detrimental to the legal case, I'll point out. Everything morally wrong with this, I'll point out. And
once he said that, anything detrimental to the case, he's going to point out. And once he said that, I was like, I'm in.
Hopefully I can shed some light on this situation. I'm revamping my Patreon as well, so if you guys want to help out the channel in any way, it's completely non-profit. All of the additional money I have at the end of the month that's left over goes to charities. It's used for lawyers, decoys, and editors, so I can make this content. Without Patreon, this just wouldn't be possible. So without any further hesitation, let's get into the video. So it always interests me when people say they don't have the chat logs from an encounter with a child predator or a alleged child predator. Chat logs are the main bit of evidence that the police need to actually arrest these people. Attempting a meet with a alleged minor without the evidence of why that person's meeting this random person would mean nothing. The entire backstory is what makes this illegal, if that makes sense. Otherwise, the person can just argue that they bumped into a random person that they've never spoken to before and they don't know what they're doing or why they're here. And, without the evidence of, them attempting to meet a minor, it means nothing. It's just like you bumping into a random person in Tesco's and accusing them of a crime. Without the evidence, the police just won't do anything with it. So it is a bit bizarre to me to hear that they don't have any evidence of this and they don't have the chat logs. So I'd like to know why. Potentially they put it all into a hard drive and send it to the police, but then you should still back up copies. I've forgotten to do this in the past when I first started, so maybe it's a mistake on their behalf. But not having any evidence other than a meeting with an alleged person isn't a good point to start if you're trying to go the legal way about this.
I want to say that I have a very special subscriber who wrote to me, and she did make it clear that, she is hard of hearing. And if I could start using some subtitles, and I'm definitely going to do that, because this video is hard to hear. Not only his accent, but it really sounds like the cameraman doesn't know that he's recording audio and video at the same time.
Meeting with an alleged person is isn't a good point to start if you're trying to go the legal way about this. I can just about make out that he is saying that you're trying to meet a 13-year-old girl. The person that's filming has got his finger over the microphone. So it's actually hard to understand what's being said. Hopefully he realises that as a camera person your job is to not only film but capture the audio and figures that out soon. Otherwise this might be very frustrating for me and you guys to watch.
Dude, look at this. Like, listen. Okay. Listen. Alright, I'm be honest. So, like, decide you're gay. To a 13-year-old girl. No, listen. Okay, listen. I'm going to swim. That's not an excuse. I don't want you to play the victim here, okay? I'm not playing the victim. You are the predator here. Okay, I'm playing.
So he seems to have the chat logs on his phone at this point in time. I don't know why he's lost that. This sort of stuff should definitely be backed up. If he's managing to point this out to the alleged child predator here, surely you would take a screen recording, screenshots or something of the sort as some sort of reference point for the police, or for yourself for later content, if that's your aim. I don't know how they've managed to lose all of that, and that's quite shocking. The second thing here as well is they managed to get him to sort of admit that he was here to meet a 13-year-old. Obviously, without the evidence, it's hard to get an arrest anyway, but the fact that he's here apologising for meeting this person who is 13, why would you apologise for something that you're not doing? This here shows that he is actually intending to meet a 13-year-old, and it's probably the only bit of evidence that they've got in this without the chat logs that they could show the police and see what the police can do with.
Okay, depression doesn't make you like 13-year-old girls.
I knew what happens. I'm sorry.
You said you wouldn't have car. You said you have car super, but it'd be uncomfortable. You said, wait, where are we going to get? You said, so if a 13-year-old girl is going to do it, are you sure? I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that.
I'm not going to do anything like that with eyes.
So what are you doing here then?
I was shopping. I didn't think
You're shopping? You don't even like, there's so many minor sports in you than this one.
So saying that he's shopping is clearly false. What are the chances that the person that you were speaking to, who turns out to be the person that's pretending to be the decoy, is shopping at the same shop as you, meeting you in exactly the same place that you're shopping randomly when you don't have a trolley, a basket, or anything of the sort? You're just standing in a place where it seems like you've arranged to meet someone. Saying that you're shopping probably isn't the smartest idea. Again, we don't have the chat logs because they've lost them to prove that he did intend to meet this person here. Maybe it is a coincidence that they bumped into this man that they've recognised from speaking to. But again, without the chat logs,
I don't want to pause it too long or anything, but excuse me real quick. I have to go get floss because I have something in my mouth and I'm just like all annoyed right now. And I just want to just listen to this while I go grab this floss. Excuse me.
we can't prove that. And that's something that his lawyers could use at a later date saying, oh, I never organised to meet this person, I was just talking to them, blah, blah, blah. This is why it's so important to keep all the evidence of these cases safe.
off the word.
How do I know you're going to be here though?
Because I have money to buy stuff.
How do I know you're going to get this minor?
What do you mean, honey?
I came here to look for you. How do I know you're going to be here? You live in a different city. So how do I know you're going to get this minor? And how can these texts say he's a minor? Where we're standing right now. And you also said, you said it'd be more fun if you had a girl your age to do it too. So what, you want a bunch of 13-year-olds? That's what you said.
It's hard to make out what he said there, but it seems like he said afterwards, what did you want, a bunch of 13-year-olds? So he probably said something along the lines of, maybe it'd be more fun if you bring a friend. This is evidence, if it's done correctly, that would get this person sent away. If these text messages that he is reading out are true, this is a lot of evidence. It's just he doesn't have it anymore, which really jeopardizes the case. A lot of child predator captures on YouTube don't post the evidence. A lot of them are told not to by police. I've been told not to in a couple of different cases because it has sensitive information like addresses, etc., etc. But not having it at all and saying you've lost it is, I can't get over it. this needs to be kept safe, because if what you're saying is true, you've done a reasonably good job, and you could get this person arrested and get him sentenced and put on a register. Well, if you lose the evidence, you can't.
You want a 13-year-old girl. He said, what if I kill you? Listen, you this is not good. I'm listening, man. There's not much you can say right now.
And listen, I'm not a bad person. So everything I'm doing, positive shows I'm gonna do.
Yeah, well, this is more than like down the drain, man. You want to become a 13-year-old girl. What's up, Dre? Here, what's that? Hey, here. What's that, Fred? We call
We could call the cops. I don't know why this is something that's always said. I don't get it. It should be, we are calling the cops. This is your chance to, say your piece. This sort of stuff makes these people under duress, as it were. And this is something that lawyers can argue at a later date. If they're told that the police aren't going to be called and they give information, that information is given under duress. It may, at a later date, be completely inadmissible in a court hearing because of that. It completely depends on the court you go to, the state you're in, the country you're in, which lawyers you have, which lawyers the defense has, which jury is on, which judge is doing the case. You don't know, and you can't control all of these factors. So what you want to do is try and make it as easy as possible for a unanimous vote across the system, so you know full well that he's going to get put away for this. All it takes is one member of the jury to go, oh, he's under duress, or something of the sort, feel sorry for him, or something like this, and the whole case goes out. You need to make sure you do it properly, because then you remove any of these, unforeseen circumstances at a later date.
He said, would he fun if you had more girls your age? What's chance, Fred? I was styling. And you could also hold that book.
See, I never understood this either. I don't understand, and I don't like the fact that they try and publicly embarrass these people. What they've done is bad enough. You don't want to make jokes about the situation and take away the severity of what they are doing. Make them read the little kid's book and make them put a hat on. Yeah, I understand. It can be entertaining for some viewers. But again, this is a serious topic. I make little jokes after the fact, because it's after the fact. But during these cases, I always want to make sure that I'm professional. Being professional gets way more information out of these people than if you're embarrassing them publicly. How likely is he to accidentally slip up and give a bit of information that he wouldn't have otherwise when he's looking like this?
And once again, it kind of goes back to some points that he made about he felt intimidated. And so you know how people will often say they gave false confessions to detectives because they were, intimidated or being, mistreated or whatever. Yes, while there is a staggering amount of, falsely convicted people in prison, the same goes the other way, that there's a lot of free people because, they feel, and maybe the cameras prove. So I seen one in particular, this young black gentleman, really, really good job, dressed professionally. There was a call of a burglary in progress, and the guy ran out of the jewelry store, and the guy was white and dressed like in a hoodie and this and that. And this guy was on the bus while the robbery was taking place, and the guy gets off the bus, and he's a light-skinned, black guy. And, like I said, dressed professionally. I think he was, God, I might be wrong, but maybe even studying to be an attorney, or was an engineer or computer programmer, something like really high paying and extremely just nice and polite. And this cop, this detective was a complete fucking dick. He was saying oh, no, definitely, I know 100% it was you. Why don't you just come out and say it? And he's like, I was on the bus. I have proof from, the timestamps of the transfer or whatever. I don't know. I haven't taken a bus before. But He's like, you know, there's video cameras of me, you know, at the time that you're claiming that this place is whatever, you know, and I'm here. He's like, well, this detective is saying, I know for an absolute fact. He's stating factually that he knows for an absolute fact it was him, when the guy doesn't look like him whatsoever. Not one bit. And I'm like, wow, this is bullshit. And yeah, I'm shaking my head the entire time I'm watching this, just out of frustration. And they book him into jail, and he has to call his work to explain this. And rightfully so, filed a complaint and sued the city. And what they were trying to do was make comparisons of how, you know, certain people react, people who have been to jail against people who haven't been to jail. And the people who have been to jail, they're more animated, they're more, you know, vocal, they're cursing, they're pissed, you know, like saying, you know, fuck that, I wasn't there, that wasn't fucking me, you know. Another guy who was completely innocent, and this, you know, methed out chick was saying, oh yeah, it was him, this and that, when he was actually just got home, you know, he was taking a shower, getting ready for bed, and this chick is like blaming him when he was nowhere even near her house. While this other guy, you know, has never been in trouble with the law or whatever, and he's being totally respectful. And, you know, it shows how, you know, there's no straight across the board thinking of detectives. I mean, you could get a good one, a bad one. We're imperfect, we're human. And with this kind of behavior that these guys are doing to this guy, do I feel it's right? I would love to embarrass the living shit out of him for what he's doing. But, like Mike Fox here said, you know, you need to approach this professional if you want to put him away. If you really want to get these people off the streets and harming our children, you can't be doing stupid shit like this.
Think about it.
Yeah, we went to school together. Went to the same high school, bro. Yeah.
And it's two
Then
against
right
one.
after that, you said, bring a bird, I said, no, are you know? Twin, then you said, so would you?
So they mentioned here that they went to the same high school together. Again, because the evidence isn't there, because they've lost the evidence, he could say at a later date that he was under duress and he just apologised to stop the situation. Let me give you just a little understanding of what his lawyer could say in court. My client was under duress during this. He thought apologising falsely under these circumstances would mitigate further repercussions for actions that he did not cause. He believed that if he apologised, they would be nice and they would leave him alone. He did not do anything, and this is a witch hunt from something that he went to school with. They don't have any evidence of any crime being committed, other than the fact that he apologised for a crime that he did not commit and which has no evidence of. Something along the lines of that. He can get away with this because they've lost the evidence. And all it takes is a good enough lawyer who speaks way better than I do, who's been trained at this job, to persuade a jury that this is a witch hunt against, maybe they could even put the race card in there. They could say it's a black man that these people didn't like in school. It depends. You've got to think about all these different situations that can arise later. Making sure it's done professionally, making sure that you have the evidence. These are important things to make sure that at a later date, a lawyer defending this person can't defend it. And all they're trying to do is lessen his sentence.
And then you said, well, is that yes or no? We call the police here. Like, I live in Taylor. So, we can call the Taylor PD if you want. You want to call Taylor PD? Should we call someone else? Who do you want to call? You want to call the police? You want to call your mom?
This shouldn't be up to the person that's being allegedly committing these crimes. Imagine if you catch somebody in the middle of one of these situations, a real life situation, you come home and it's your 12-year-old cousin and there's a grown man there with her. Would you really say to that man, what do you want to happen? Do you want the police to come? Or, should I call someone else for you? Obviously, you're not going to want the police to come. Why give you the option to say no? Just call the police. I don't get it. You should say the police are on their way. You should say that I'm recording this for my and your protection, so if you get hurt or I get hurt, we've got proof of that. Like, these are things that just shouldn't be said. They should be things that you don't rehearse, but just think about during this. Because it seems like if you have the evidence and these messages are correct, again, without looking at the evidence and seeing if there's any moral entrapment or any of this sort of box, you've done a good job here. Meeting this person, filming him, being relatively civil, and then handing him to the police. If that's done correctly, this is a great job. But the fact that there's no evidence, you're giving them the option to not have the police there, you haven't removed him out of the public situation, which may cause harm at a later time, and all of these things just ruin these cases. I don't have anything against child predator catching groups that do this. I just don't think they understand the full length of it. And I'm not saying they're naive, I just don't think they've looked into it.
Don't you think the police should know about you? Because you're kind of a danger to the people. You can't even the rules. Just today. So how many, you don't usually do, how many times have you done it? Right, okay, but how, you said don't usually do this, so it doesn't mean you don't never do it. It's usually, so how many times have you met underage girls?
I haven't met any.
Okay, you said always. Usually, you keep saying usually.
See, stop listening. Him using the word usually, which I would normally pick up in my videos and point out. Saying usually does imply that he's done it before, which means that the police should definitely know about it. It shouldn't be, don't you think the police should know? The police are definitely gonna know, because you usually don't do this. He is a danger to society. If he is there to meet a 13-year-old, which he's admitted to now, if he did say all those things on text message, this is a done case. Just send it to the police.
Okay, I'm not thinking before I speak. I don't meet underage people.
You're also not thinking before you do, because you showed up to me a 13-year-old girl and had sex with her.
Do you know who else doesn't think before they do? People that browse the internet while not using Surfshark. Surfshark security and safety around. If you didn't know as well, Netflix and Amazon change it to America. They're paying $7.
Did you not? Is that not what you're here for? What are you here for? You're hearing me, the 13-year-old girl that has sex, right?
Yeah, but I'm trying to.
Okay, at least you admit that, right?
Be around with.
But being around a 13-year-old girl and having sex with her is not something you should be doing. And then you said, is it just like you like older guys or at your school, or do you have friends that are like you in your age? And then you asked if I had sisters, and then I said, nope, only child. I said, would be fun if you had more girls your age. So what does that mean? I don't get what that means. Does it mean you want to have sex with more 13-year-olds or what? What are you saying by that?
It's pretty obvious what he's implying if this text message seems to be true, and I don't have anything that shows me from the reaction of this guy that says that it's not true. Once again, if they had this evidence and they could provide it to the police, this person would be locked up like that.
What do you mean by that then? Please explain. What are you doing by that? You want to talk?
I think you should just call the cops. He's not gonna talk. I'm not gonna waste my time.
But you're recording though, and I'm not.
So you see how he's being quiet, and then as soon as they say, I think we should call the cops, he says, no, please don't. Everything that's said from this point onwards, in this conversation thread, like has happened before, could be inadmissible in court, as I said, because he's under duress at this point. He's not thinking clearly. This is completely inadmissible with certain judges, certain juries, and certain lawyers. This is why it's important to establish what you are doing from the start. The police are on their way, I'm going to call the police, something like this. Because then everything that's said afterwards can be taken for its word. For every single judge and jury.
Recording. You came to meet.
Yeah, that way you can't say we did anything to you because we
You
don't
came
know
to
what
meet
else
up
to
with a
do.
kid.
I never thought you were
You
like
came
this.
to meet
man.
up with a 13-year-old kid.
You are. You're here, man. I never thought you were like this. When I seen your profile and hit me up, I'm like, there's no way.
You came to meet with a 13-year-old
A
kid.
13-year-old girl, man. I
A
did not think it was
13-year-old
like
girl.
Okay, what do you want? Because I don't really want.
We don't want nothing. We want to know why you think it's okay.
It wasn't okay.
Then why are you here if it's not okay?
I don't know.
You don't know why you're here? I know why you're here.
I know why I'm here.
Okay, why are you here? I want you to say why you're here.
To meet a girl.
Well, girl, how old is she?
13.
And what were you going to do with this 13-year-old?
It ain't much to do because I ain't
You
trying to
said,
talk.
no. What were you going to do?
I know what you said.
Okay, so what did you say? What did you say in the text?
That was nice, but I wasn't gonna do that.
Right, so just here he's admitted that he's coming to meet a 13-year-old, and in the chats he did say that he was going to have sex with them. This might be enough in a court to get him sentenced. But as I've said before, people admit to crimes that they don't do all the time. It's actually quite a common thing, weirdly. The amount of serial killer documentaries that you watch where somebody is in prison because they admitted to the crimes that they didn't do is insane.
If you watch, there's a great documentary. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but it's Henry Lee Lucas. All his life, he was treated like shit. No, not loved. Just like, child just born to those type of parents that were just like, fuck it, I don't care. We're just going to keep this kid just so we could get, money from the government for him. And, the minute that, he's no longer, providing us any more government funds, he's out on his own. And so that's exactly what he did. It made it more clear that he was homosexual or he could have been bi. But I know his lover looked the part of being bi more than anything else. But anyways, the jail that they had him locked up in, this has a long story to do with the Texas Rangers and how, renowned the Texas Rangers are, just what they're known for. And all of a sudden, the head of the Texas Rangers has him locked up in his own jail, and his cell is like unlike any other cell that they ever had there before. He gets McDonald's like on the daily. He gets strawberry milkshakes. He gets freaking, packs of cigarettes. He gets all this, great treatment. And in return, all of a sudden, he starts admitting to all these cold cases. And you're talking about cold cases here in Colorado and Cleveland and freaking Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Florida and Oklahoma, Nebraska, Wyoming, Texas, Rhode Island. I mean, everywhere, California, Oregon, all across the board. He is just admitting to all these cold cases. So there was a good example where they have the news there, and there was a particular case where they couldn't identify this Jane Doe, and they called her Orange Sock because that's the only thing they found on her. And so he's standing there, and then the head of the Rangers is like right beside him in there, kind of like in the segregation ditch by the highway. And he's like, yeah, and that's, where I saw, that's where I, got the girl with the yellow socks. And the Ranger's like, oh, don't you mean orange? He's like, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, she had, these yellow or, orange socks. That's exactly how he does it. And none of these people really wanted to catch on for some reason. They just wanted to, no department whatsoever wants cold cases open. None. It looks bad for them. So they want to close these cold cases. And like the jury's kind of out on him is that many, I would say a good 80% of the families don't believe he killed some of their loved ones, that the police or the Rangers are adamant that he killed. So what he's saying about this, about, people admitting to crimes, it's either because they're under duress or because, this preferential treatment. It's odd.
So you need the evidence as well as the admission to secure victory here, as it were.
Then why'd you show up? Ooh. It's 9:46 on a weekday. Why are you here then? 3 cities away from where you live. Right? About 3 cities away? How many cities did you travel through? And how many miles did you pass? Because you live by 1, don't you? You live by 2, don't you? And you came to meet a 13-year-old girl. So you got anything you want to say? Okay, no.
I can't hear him.
Apologize.
What?
Yeah.
I apologize for being underage and unacceptable.
Are you sorry for being caught, or are you sorry because it's sick-minded in the fucking head?
Because it's wrong.
Because there's people that are older and they meet up with underage girls, underage boys,
And then they do stuff like you talked about. Even texting them like that is wrong.
That's what I thought about when you said something.
You got to remember in these situations as well, he might be messaging other real people. That's why it's important to go to the police for this. The police have the ability to detain people for 24 to 48 hours, depending on the states. And in that time, they're allowed to seize your belongings, download your phone, see what you've got, what you're hiding, what you've installed. If you're messaging other child predators, if you're a part of a pedophile ring, all these sort of things. When you let somebody go home without them being able to, take this evidence away from someone, they may lose evidence in a later court hearing. They may leave these child predator group chats. They may stop speaking to these real people and block them. They may delete evidence and hard drives they've got at home. All this sort of stuff that you've got to think about. He's admitted here to doing it, so let's take him at his word. We now need to make sure that everything is documented and handed to the police for the reasons that I just said.
That's what I clicked. It's like you probably.
Oh, so you just thought it was a trap. You didn't think about like how the damage you could have on them.
No.
You didn't say nothing about damages or just talking or nothing. Most people tell me that they just want to talk when they get here.
And
You
and
didn't
also
even say
you're,
that.
you're local. You know he does. You know how this goes. So
You said just getting gas. You didn't say nothing about just talking. Most of them, when they show up, they'll text me, "Oh, I just want to talk." You didn't even do that. You just were like, "Oh, show me where you're at. I'm about to leave." And then I seen you walking in, man. So you were definitely coming here with the intentions of having sex with a 13-year-old.
correct.
You didn't even mention nothing else. You know the damage that can cause? Because there's people that's life has been ruined by people.
People
that
take their
are
own
older.
lives because of this.
And they take advantage of them. They show up and they meet these minors and they just ruin their lives.
Fully agree. Prison is necessary.
You're a
Underage
grown
people,
man,
which is wrong
you know?
in general. Do you think you should talk to them? Or you think if you want to, even though it's wrong to even text them, don't you think you should want from a more friendlier PG approach, like, hey, how you doing, asking her about school, and just as a friend, not about a partner?
13's low, dude.
13's
13's low.
Yeah.
How? And what's your age?
He's almost 21.
21.
Almost 21.
Almost 21.
Yeah. You'll be 21 this year, right? Yep. That's 8 years almost. It's 7 years, roughly, right? About there? When you were in high school, were you going after 13-year-olds? When you were a senior? So now that you're graduating?
You're one of them freshman boys, huh? Seniors that go after freshmen, or what?
That's about one of those ages. What's up, man?
Bro, I'm in the video too.
Yeah, he's here to meet a 13-year-old girl.
Huh?
He's here to meet a 13-year-old girl.
Here for a 13-year girl.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, man?
You can look us up on YouTube. We're American Predators, and this is what we do. This is our 11th catch. Yeah, we're not here to hurt.
Okay. I don't have any sympathy whatsoever for this fucking sicko. Whatsoever. But they're going about this all wrong. And that's where I was so curious as to what the presenter had to say. Because now they're involving the public. Like, some of these people watch these, channels. And I mean, I wouldn't recognize, these people. I don't know, I just started seeing some of the sick shit on Reddit and, and all that stuff. And if somebody's telling me like, oh yeah, he's a predator. I mean, that's, to be quite honest, I'm gonna walk away because I don't know the facts. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not gonna start passing judgment unless I know for 100% fact. And you have two guys there with their cell phones out. Okay. They're recognized for doing what they do. So anyone else that they call by are going to believe them. And I'm sure if I were, a fan of theirs, I would believe them. But since I don't know them, I'd just be like, call the police and shit, let them figure it out. Because you could fuck up a case so badly trying to go out there being a vigilante. Their heart is in the right place, but they could fuck up so much for a case. Like, what if this dude has done this to... What if this dude was like on Jerry Epstein's level? You know, I know he isn't, but what if he was? And they fuck it up by doing some, you know, confronting him in, you know, I don't know what the hell it is. It looks like a Walmart to me, but I know they said it was something else. And, you know, all of a sudden they start making a scene, bringing in other people. That to me is just, that's not professional.
Hurt you, man. We're just here to talk to you and let people know what you're here to do.
So at this point, they've put this man in what is a dangerous situation. Somebody has recognised the child predator catchers. They have just said this person's a child predator. They placed him in a dangerous situation. This isn't good. This is why I've always said in catches that I do, I move people to the side. Public, but to the side. If people get involved, I tell them to leave.
There you go.
This isn't
Same
something that
thing.
you want more people involved in. Just the police.
Now, if other people are
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Man, I got kids out here. I got these nephew out here,
I
bro.
got kids too.
You on that page doing that
I haven't started yet. I'm just the fact that I have a mental thing that's going on with me.
Depression, right?
It's not that.
It doesn't make people-
stuff that's
Mental
going on.
stuff. Okay, mental stuff doesn't make you like children.
You're not a psychologist, for one. You know, I'm not a psychologist either, but I worked with people with mental disabilities. You do not know what mental disabilities do to people. Why do you think they're mental disabilities? That could just be his fucking weak excuse. Again, I am not sticking up for this piece of shit whatsoever, but don't be making broad statements like that because you're not a psychologist. You know, and that's easy to argue in court. That, you know, here you have this young man who's running a YouTube page, catching predators, and he's diagnosing them on the spot by saying, oh, well, you know, mental health doesn't make you like children. Stuff, okay, mental stuff doesn't make you like children. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, you're fucking up the case. They need to put this piece of shit away for years. Throw him in a cell, make him think about all the fucked up shit he's done. And believe me, there's prison justice for that. But I think more or less they're doing more harm than good.
Bro, you don't want to beat your ass right now for that shit, bro? You hear me? You f- with a 14-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, bro? I got kids out here, man. I will knock your ass out for that shit, bro. Are you stupid?
This is all happening because the child predator catching group here has announced loudly in a public place that this person is doing something. They've publicly embarrassed him. This has caught people's attention. We saw this man walk past earlier on in the video, I think, as well, because they randomly blurred someone's face. I assume it's the same man, which means that he overheard the conversation beforehand because they were being loud and in public. If anything happens to this person, these people may be held liable to some extent for placing him in a dangerous situation.
You got set up, right? What they call police on your dumb ass right now? Get your ass locked up. That's called sex offender, my dude.
Luring a minor. Yeah, I mean, it goes
That's bad, man.
Bro, you got set up for some dumb ass shit, right? Nobody wanna punch your ass out right now for that shit right now, bro? If I run like your ass out, what you would've did? You f- with a 13-year-old girl, man? A 13-year-old girl? They set your dumb ass up. I would've f- you out right now, bro.
Okay, there's kids in the area.
What's up?
There's kids in the area. We should watch the video.
Yeah, we should watch him because he's here to meet a kid.
He's here to meet a kid, so we're here to protect the kids. Save the kids, man.
Do you think this is okay at all?
Bro, I should knock your ass out right now, bro.
Okay, so this is not happening. I'm gonna call police.
All right, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Because I'm not. This is not.
You do need help.
So at this point, this guy's clearly scared, and rightfully so. There's 6 foot something guy shouting in his face that he's going to knock him out. This is actually a call to threat. This is, inciting violence. There's many crimes that you can get arrested for just by threatening people like this. And now he wants the police there to protect him. He feels unsafe. Again, this is something else that might ruin the case at a later date. He's been placed in an unsafe situation where people have, shouted at the rooftops that he's doing something wrong. they've ruined his reputation before a court hearing is done. This could be seen as defamation because, again, court hearings have to go through before you say unequivocally that somebody is doing a crime, if that makes sense.
Like, really? Oh, hey, don't do that. No.
So this man's going to get arrested 110% for assault. This is
Okay.
Hey, don't do that.
They're enticing it. They are inviting it. I mean, more than anything, they are just. I mean, they're loving the fact that they're bringing attention to it. And then the guy hits him. Oh, don't do that. They fucked it all up. Idiots. Oh.
that somebody is doing a crime, if that makes sense.
Like, really? Oh, hey, don't do that. No.
So this man's going to get arrested 110% for assault. This is unprovoked assault. Yes, I understand where people can see the provocation here because this person is trying to meet a 13-year-old. But he didn't do anything to the man that just assaulted him. That's prison time. That's straight up assault. I think, depending on states in America, that can even be up to a few years. The people conducting this operation who didn't remove him from the situation, didn't try and protect him, and, you know, actually endangered his well-being and quite clearly actually endangered him, they may be liable for sort of accessory to assault
after the fact.
Which I'm not sure, again, depending on the states, it can be a prison sentence, it can be a massive fine, and it can be, you know, on your criminal record. This is appalling. You want the first thing that you do to be arrests. You want the first thing you do to make sure somebody is sentenced. From this video, I'm very 50-50, which means going into a court and a jury, he could get away with all of this because of how they've acted here.
It is, man, but that we can't do all that.
So you see the guy here runs away. Most people probably would. Which means he's going to go home and the police won't be there to arrest him, which means he can go home and delete all the evidence of other stuff. And that might be why they don't have the chat logs. Maybe it was on an end-to-end encrypted website where you can delete for both parties like Telegram. Like, they f***ed it, basically. Because they didn't move him from a situation where he was put in danger.
Like, really?
Oh! You can see there how professional the wasted sign is. Nothing says professionalism like a GTA wasted symbol. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think that they did this in a good way? Do you think that he got what he deserved, maybe? Or do you think that, you know, a punch in the face is less of a punishment than a few years in prison? Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video if you're new. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Drop a like on the video as always, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Oh, he says peace like me. I just barely found him too, so. Man. I think those guys are fucking causing more harm than good. I really, really do. And you know what? I'm gonna subscribe to him. Well done video. Very well done. Mr. Fox. I feel uncomfortable saying that. Mr. Mike Fox. This was a very good video. I appreciate that you recognize the professionalism. And you recognize the unprofessionalism. And this was really appalling. Like you said, it could go 50-50 now. Or it gave him such a chance to go running out of that store and deleting all the evidence he wanted to. Sick, sick video. And like I said, a sick video on Halloween. So, I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think, too. I'm interested to know your guys' opinion as much as, you know, he was. So, yeah. Drop some comments. And, you know, if you're new to this channel, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, at the behest of some of my subscribers, I did start some social media pages. I was only doing YouTube, and Facebook's more for private, like family and friends I grew up with. But I did start a Twitter and an Instagram, which is not at the end of my intro. Yeah, that was just an Instagram at the time that the guy who made my outro, the intro and outro, was like, oh, just make any Instagram, and I just put some weird numbers and all that. But I will link my real Instagram page at the bottom. Go in and, you know, follow me if you're up to it. No, I just post random shit. For those of you that are new, I give updates. I just starred in my first feature film, which I get trolls for saying like, oh, he talks about him, being in a movie and he did, 3 commercials for YouTube. Well, hell yeah, I'm proud of doing that. I also worked in the music industry, hence my name, and been in. I was just about to drop the name of the magazine, but good thing I didn't. Tasteful pictures, by the way. But no, I don't give a shit. I'll name the magazine. I was in Penthouse magazine. They were doing a cover on how good the 5-star food there was. We had a saucier that some of his sauces alone were $300. So much they were charging just for sauces. And so they asked me to model in the magazine. I was like, yeah, sure, there's only like a couple of topless photos, but I wasn't involved in those photos. My photos were made to look like I was. I have them on one of my videos, but they were they were done tastefully. But yeah, I'm still in the entertainment industry. I can't talk about the movie because I signed a non-disclosure agreement. Only the title, which is called "What We Don't See," should be out in 2023. If not 2023, then definitely 2024. We haven't even had the rap party yet. So, yeah, I give updates on my Instagram and Twitter about the movie and future projects I have coming up as I've been blessed, For those of you who believe in God, I don't preach. I don't want to offend anybody because everybody has their own beliefs, their own, ideologies. And for me, I grew up, non-denominational Christian. And so when good things happen, I always say, thank God, right place, right time, divine intervention, or it could have just been fate, destiny. However you look at it, it was something good that happened at least. And growing up, I was a big fat ass. I played football. I was quick, and I was, I had a little bit of muscle. But if you ever would have told me that I would have been in a movie, I would have laughed at your face and been like if you were a time traveler, I'd been like, dude, you are fucking on crack. But no, I give updates on there. So if you guys are inclined to, feel free to go and check it out. But yeah, videos like this just fucking disgust me, man. But I really think they're just fucking things up, man. They really are. They are the worst predator catchers I've seen so far. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll be back with another one. So, peace came a little too soon. Peace out.